Don't manipulate your partner. This, if you watch Nollywood, you understand. You have to choose me or choose your mother. You have to choose me or choose your family. You know, bro, don't do it. Don't do it, sister. Don't do it. Don't try to pit your partner against your family. Especially because of what I said initially. They are their family. They raised them. They love them long before you showed up on the scene. I think you have to honor that. You have to respect that. And even though you know that this person loves you so much, you will do anything you say to them to do, don't take advantage of that. Because you are not just building, okay, it's a marriage we're talking about, right? You're not just building for now, you're building for the long haul, you're building for decades. You're actually sowing a seed. I actually believe that whatever it is that you do in life, you are sowing a seed. So imagine sowing that kind of seed and you have children coming into the mix. It's not a good seed. Hi guys, welcome back. If you're seeing this face for the first time, welcome specially. I'm Cream Cat, host of Relationship Recipes with Cream Cat, where I help you build the relationship of your dreams. And I'm excited to be back with another video. On today's episode, we're going to be following up what we talked about last week, which is what do you do when your family don't like your partner and you want to go forward with this person, you want to get married to this person, and they're saying, we don't want. We already talked about the fact that in Africa things are peculiar. So what does that mean? Individuals don't get married, families do. So when you say you want to be married, your families are fully involved. And that's what makes their approval super important, because they are fully involved. In last week's scenario, we talked about when you are the person whose parents are turning down your partner. Now, today I'm talking about what do you do when you are the one being rejected, where your partner's parents are saying, we don't like him or we don't like her. How do you navigate that? What do you do? The dynamics are different, the tables are flipped. So you have to be wiser, you have to be more intentional in how you approach the situation. You need to understand that this is a little bit more peculiar. Why is it more peculiar? Because it feels like you're powerless. Yeah, the powers you have to really change the situation are there, but are not as much as though if it were you whose parents were having issues with your partner. So you are not as powerful as it is. So sometimes you can feel handicapped in the situation. Sometimes you can now, in the middle of feeling handicapped, now push your partner in extremes that are dangerous. That's why what I'm going to be sharing today is important and you need to listen till the end. First things first, take it easy on your partner. See, when your parents are saying no or your family is saying no to someone whom you really love, there's already pressure, there's already tension, you see. Then if the person who is your partner, who you're trying to advocate for, now puts pressure on you, starts to throw tantrums, becomes not a safe place, because when they come from their family, they are looking for a safe place. They're not looking for another person that's going to put pressure on them, try to drag them into pieces. You should not be that person. You should not be you should not become mean. You should not make your partner the object of whatever negative emotions that you might be feeling. You see, so you want to ensure that you are not flipping on your partner. You want to ensure that you are not making things hard for them. Don't put unrealistic pressures. Don't throw tantrums. You're not a child. You know, it's already hard for them to deal with that their partner, the person that they love, is being unaccepted by their families. The second, a very important thing under this point, is the fact that it's their family. Oftentimes, especially in Africa, I don't know why we fall into this a lot. We now find ourselves in situations where we're trying to pitch ourselves against the family and making your partner pick. No, he doesn't have to pick. He can have both. You see, he doesn't have to pick. You don't always have to say pick, pick, pick. Why? You're also becoming his family. These are people who have raised him. These are people he has known all his life, or these are people she has known all her life. You can't just all of a sudden wake up and begin to say you want to put them against your partner. I think it's unfair. I think it's wicked. I think it's selfish. Yeah. So you want to be intentional not to pitch your partner against their family. You don't want to make it hard for them. You don't always want to put them in that place where they have to pick. Of course, I'm going to talk about it and balance this conversation out. But I want to put it out there that the very first thing you want to do is not to make it hard on your partner. Don't leave that meeting, don't leave that visit where you meet your partner's family and then you just start to shred them into pieces. You don't want to do that. I think it's very horrible. I think it's not nice. Two, find out why. Is it a belief system? Are they grappling with something that they've heard about you, about your family, something that they think, a misconception they have, maybe something that you have done? How can you help them wash their brains? You see. So sometimes you might be coming from a tribe, maybe, especially because this is predominantly an African thing. You might be coming from a social demographic that they probably have a problem with. How do you now, especially if there are people who can change their minds, how do you now present to them a contrary perspective? How can you help them see things differently? And I think it's by being your true self, really, and just selling yourself as you are. So oftentimes a lot of people who are level-headed, who are open-minded, who are willing to change and see things differently, no matter how hardened they have been in their previous perspectives, will actually change if you give them something to see what is which is different. So that's why the very first way you respond shouldn't be by throwing tantrums, shouldn't be by pitching your partner against their family. If they reckon that you're not trying to do that, it kind of opens up the door, makes things a little bit softer for you to land on. So very importantly, you want to find out why. Is it a belief system? Are they being tribalistic? Do they have a misconception about you that is not true? Do they have a stereotype for people from your own social demographic? Is there something that can be changed? Really? Sometimes it can be a social class thing. I know in 2024 it's still there. And this is not even just a Nigerian thing, it's a global thing. People, in upper social classes have a hesitation for their children, for their family members marrying people from lower social class. So you want to really understand where's their head at and how can you really present yourself in a way that doesn't fit their stereotypes but really fit who you are, and how can you make your own personality shine through in a way that can actually influence their stereotypes, you see. So you might have to have difficult conversations, you might have to be in difficult rooms, you might not have that option of always running away. Okay, your family doesn't like me, so I'm not coming to this family gathering, I'm not coming for this, I'm not. Calm down. You might actually have to put yourself in these situations that are somehow not so convenient. And in doing so, you're now able to now make them see you differently. You're now able to help them to really get to know you, and you start to change one mindset at a time, from one conversation at a time. You're bringing down the walls, you're bringing down the fences. That's really where your power lies. Most of your power lies in that, you see, that kind of interaction. Initially it might not be easy, there might be tension, there might be friction, but you must bring your own calmness, bring your own level-headedness, and let your personality shine through. I think that's really going to help. Next, don't manipulate your partner. This if you watch Nollywood, you understand. You have to choose me or choose your mother. You have to choose me or choose your family. You know, bro, don't do it. Don't do it, sister. Don't do it. Don't try to pitch your partner against your family. Especially because of what I said initially. They are their family. They raised them. They love them long before you showed up on the scene. I think you have to honor that. You have to respect that. And even though you know that this person loves you so much, you will do anything you say to them to do, don't take advantage of that. Because you are not just building, okay, it's a marriage we're talking about, right? You're not just building for now, you're building for the long haul, you're building for decades. You're actually sowing a seed. I actually believe that whatever it is that you do in life, you are sowing a seed. So imagine sowing that kind of seed and you have children coming into the mix. It's not a good seed. So you don't want to burn bridges. You don't want to cause fights. I mean, they just want to marry the love of their life. It shouldn't become a fight, even though their family is putting up a resistant front, right? It doesn't have to get there. It doesn't have to get to that extreme, honestly. So don't manipulate your partner into fighting with their family for you. Don't manipulate your partner into throwing tantrums. Don't manipulate your partner into becoming the, I don't know what to say, villain. I don't know. I'm not so good with all of these things, but don't manipulate your partner into that. You see, I'm even of the opinion. You might find this extreme, but I'm of the opinion that if it gets down to that, I think you should actually walk away. Instead of allowing your partner burn bridges with his family, you want to actually walk away, which is healthier for you and your partner. Yes, you're going to be brokenhearted. Yes, it's going to hurt. Yes, you're going to find it painful. But it's better for you to go with your broken heart and heal than for you to allow your partner burn bridges and have to deal with it for the rest of their life. Because there are some things that might happen that cannot be reversed. Imagine you getting your partner to fight with their family for you, and something happens and they lose one of their parents. Bro, I don't think you can ever forgive yourself for that. So you don't want to, rather than allow them burn bridges, be mature enough to say, you know what, I'm actually going to let this go. I'm actually going to walk away. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, I will not allow it come to that point where you have to now start to fight. Keep malice, be very, very vicious, burn bridges with your family members. It doesn't have to come to that. I personally believe that doesn't have to. So don't manipulate your partner into fighting. Start from there. So there are people that manipulate their partners into fighting, and then there are people that they might not be manipulating, but they are willing to allow their partners fight. And I'm just like, don't do it, don't do it. That's not the foundation you want to build a marriage on. The very next thing I'll say is seek help from influential family members. Liars with your partner, you see, or you might be that girlfriend that is close to the younger sister of your partner, or maybe that boyfriend that has a thing with your partner's siblings. Take advantage of that relationship. You see, you don't even have to say to them to, oh, speak to your parents. Just nourishing that relationship, I'm telling you, they are going to put in a good word for you. They're going to put in a good word for you, and then your partner can also have conversations with influential members of the family, like an uncle and auntie. And if you have an uncle and auntie that you've already met, maybe a relative of the family that is pretty influential to your partner's parents, you both can go back to that person and be like, hey, this is what is going on. Momsy and Popsy are saying they don't like my partner, they don't like him. How can you help us talk to them, help them see that you really know this person? They might not hear from me, they might think I'm in love and I'm too caught up, right? But they might hear from you because they really respect you. You want to do that. I mean, it helps you 100%. So that is one very beautiful thing to do. You want to go ahead and seek help from influential family members. The next thing will be know where your partner stands early in the conflict. What do they believe in? What is it that they are standing on? Are they people? Is your partner a person who will actually not stand up to really pursue what they believe in simply because they met a little resistance? Do you have a partner who is just going to be like, ah, my mom said she does not like you and that's all, please, the relationship has ended? Or do you have a partner that is going to be like, why don't you like my wife to be? I love her. I want to be with her. Is there anything? Do you have a level-headed person who is willing to actually go the extra mile for you? Or do you have somebody who, from the first resistance, is backing off and saying, my daddy said? You need to know, because sometimes you might feel like we're in the fight together. Meanwhile, you're alone, no, because that your partner, he's with his parents. She's with her mom. Her mom is the one controlling her. She cannot even influence her. She's telling you she's talking to them, but she's not talking to them. So you really want to know, because you don't want to be in a ship thinking that you are two captains, you are two sailors, and you're the only one. And by the time you finish paddling your side, move on inside the water because the other person was not there to paddle the other side. So it has to be an agreement, right? You have to come to that place where you kind of understand that, hey, what is our plan moving forward? What do you think? What do you believe? How do you rate your parents? Do you respect your parents enough to say that, okay, my parents said this, so I'm going to hold off of it? Great. And I'm going to try to see how I can reason it out with them. Or are you, my parents said no? It's no, we are not doing it again. You really want to know which kind of person are you with? Which kind of person are you dating? Which kind of person is in your life? This will really, really help you so that you don't go far and then realize that you were never even together. that is another level of heartbreak. So make sure that you clarify. Don't assume. Don't assume. The next thing I'll say is persistence. Take intentional action, especially with stereotypes. That's what I said, putting yourself in difficult family situations. There's a program, there's a party, and your partner's mom goes ahead and says, in fact, bring that your girlfriend. Let her come and meet my sisters. Don't be okay, she does not like me, so I'm not going to attend the party. Go. Take intentional action. It will help with stereotypes because if other people get to meet you and they're level headed enough, they have conversations with you. They might give a different kind of feedback to your prospective potential mother-in-law. So you want to actually go, you want to be persistent, persist, give it time, put up a little bit of resilience, a little bit of grit into the entire thing. Don't just back off because of one no. Sometimes it's at the third visit that they're going to be like, we love you. So it's fine. You can't just say, okay, they were mean to you. I mean, we know ourselves, Gen Z. Like my mental health. I get it. Your mental health is important, but it's not everything in life that you're going to be screaming about your mental health. Sometimes you're going to have to put up a fight for what you want, you see. And that fight is not necessarily in brawling, putting out words there, cursing. No, it's actually in being resilient. It's actually going back and back and back. You see, there's a boundary line of where you should actually just cut your losses, but then you cannot just run away because you say they did not like your smile, or why are you walking like that, or why did you study that course? You can't. There's got to be more to you. So that's what I'm trying to say, right? Put in some intentional action, try to see if you can get them to know you beyond stereotypes. And I think men kind of do better with this. They have a way of staying the course more than we women. And I think sometimes because they are more in tune with their logic part. I do not think men are more logical than women or women more emotional than men. I think all of us have equal volume of both tubes. So it's like a full glass of emotions, a full glass of logic. But women most times tend to overtap into their emotional glass, while men sometimes tend to overtap into their logical glass. So men are more like they see the entire fiasco as even her parents, I have to chase them, no wahala, we're going to do this. So they are willing to go after what they want, and they are oftentimes more resilient when it comes to things like this. So even when they are trying to get their partner to be like, just stay with me, babe, they will like you, they will like you. The woman wants to run away sometimes, you see. So sometimes you want to be more resilient, put in a little bit more grit, yeah, and then just develop your own mental fortitude. The very next thing I say is, in the midst of that, feel your mental health. I know I just dragged you, but you have to feel your mental health, especially because in that time you can start to have issues if you're not careful. You might start to second guess yourself, start to second guess your worth, especially if you're dealing with some kind of stereotypes that have to do with maybe your socioeconomic status, what you studied, who you are, who your parents are. You have to ensure that you're not allowing what people are saying to define you. You have to, at that place, become one with what you define as your identity. You have to become solid in it, because those are the kind of situations that can start to break you, you see. So it's very, very important that in that season you're fueling your mental health, you're listening to the right things, you're reading the right things, you're saying the right things, affirming the right things, because you cannot allow what people say about you become louder in your ears than what God says about you, than who you actually are, you see. So it's very important that in that season you're fueling your mental health. You're not breaking down. You have joy in your tank. You see, do the things that make you happy, the things that fill your tank, the things that make you jump, shout. Do those things. It is incredibly important. The next thing I'll say is pray. I don't know many things that change a situation like prayer. So you want to pray. Whatever it is, take it to the Lord in prayer. I believe it plays a significant role in flipping things in your favor, you see. So ensure you're praying as an individual and with your partner. I wrap up point. Know when to cut your losses. Know when to say goodbye, especially when it is progressively increasing and there is no budge. It's not as if they are trying to see how they can know you better. They just, no, never. and the resistance seems to become more intense. I think there's a mixture of wisdom and discernment that helps you to know when it's time to cut your losses. And I think when you hit that, you want to actually do that. Don't stay there. Don't become a Methuselah, Lord of the Rings. 3 years, family still don't like you. Bro, what you doing there? Move on. Maybe your wife you would have met another person and gotten married. You don't know. So you don't want to stay there and keep just if it's progressively not moving forward, just with the mixture of discernment, wisdom, know when to cut your losses and be like, I really love you, I appreciate you. You would have been a wonderful partner. But I reckon that there's only one person for everybody out there. You want to have that conversation, you see. It might be painful. It will be painful, not might. It will. But then it is better. You see, it is healthier. So know when to cut your losses and make it easier for the person and just be like, let it go. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. You have shared this with someone you think it's going to really, really do well for. And I'll see you on the next episode. Ensure that you send me questions because I will leave a link in the description to ensure that you can engage better and I would answer your questions. Bye for now. Have a great, great week.